Sometimes in life we wish to be like someone else, or we want to be somewhere else better than where we are. But here the Bible is encouraging us that wherever you are, God has placed you right there to fulfill something, to fulfill your destiny. God has placed you wherever you are with a purpose. That's where you are meant to be. Be faithful on that place, because you can never be like someone else, or you cannot be like somewhere where God has not ordained you to be. Wherever you are, just know that that's a light place for you. God has placed you there with a purpose, with a reason known to Him. When in the book of First Corinthians chapter 2, verses 7, the Bible tells us, First Corinthians chapter 2, verses 7, the Bible says, I wish that all were as I am myself, but each has his own gift from God, one of one kind and one of another. I wish we could have been all the same, but all of us, we have a different gift. We can never have the same gift. That's why God placed us in a different places. We cannot be like someone else, or I cannot be a certain place where God has not recommended me to be. Hello, my good people. Thank you so much for the love, for the support. I really to appreciate for the far that you have supported me. May God continue to bless you. May God fulfill you had a desire. My new subscriber, returning subscriber, new viewers, returning viewers. May God bless you so much. Kindly, if you haven't subscribed, kindly consider subscribing, like, share, and always come back to support me. Let's continue growing together. So today I wanted to say that wherever you are, God has placed you there with a purpose, best known to Him. You are not there by a chance or by a mistake. God has put you there. That's where you're meant to be. Be faithful on that place. Be faithful and trust God. Know that God knows what He's doing in your life. You may not understand at the moment, but know that God knows what He's doing. And He is the one who is leading us. We cannot read God. God is the one who is leading us, who is guiding us. Even if you are in a stiff storms, stiff battles that are giving you headache, just trust the process of God. Know that God knows the reason why I am here. He's planning something huge in my life. He's up to something. But at that moment, because you are facing that obstacle, the challenges in your life, you may not understand. But as time goes by, you are going to understand, and you are going to know that God has put you where you are to understand some things which is happening around you, but you couldn't be able to feature them what is happening behind the scenes. So whatever you are doing or wherever you are, even if it is a tough time in your life, trust the process of God. God has put you where you are in a best listen to Himself, and know that nothing is permanent. So even if you are facing challenges, battles in your life, you may think, why God allows me to suffer like this? If indeed He loves me or He cares for me, just know that God wants you to learn a lot of things. He knows what He has put you there. He has not put you to harm you. He has put you there to learn and understand other things. He has already prepared your future, a better plan for your future, for the hope. So keep hoping that things are going to get better, even in your darkest moment. Keep hoping, keep trusting God that God knows why He has put me here, and He knows what is best for me. He can never forsake me, He can never abandon me. No matter what happens around you, just keep believing and keep trusting the Lord. Because God says always that He will go with us, He will always by our side, no matter what happens. He's not going to abandon us. When we read the book of Deuteronomy, when we read in the book of Deuteronomy, when we read in the book of Deuteronomy 31 verses 8, it is the Lord who goes with you, who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. Do not fear nor be afraid. It is the Lord who goes with you, who is always by your side. He goes with you. He has never left you Sometimes in our darkest moment, we think that God is always by our side, but this moment is not with us. Why God leaving me at this situation? Just know that God is always before you, is with you, is beside you. He will hold you, He will uplift you, He will protect you, even in your darkest moment. He wants you to learn something. He has placed you wherever you are. But this situation, God wants you to understand something. God wants you to learn something. You have been wise. He wants you to be wiser. Maybe your circle is there's something within your circle. So God wants you to learn something. You are not going to die there. You are not going to suffer in the rest of your life. That's not the case. God is going to rescue you from there. You will endure, you will persevere, and you will conquer at the end of the day. So no matter what you are facing, all the question that you are asking, why God allow me to go through this? God wants you to learn something, to understand something in your life. So He has not placed you there so that you can suffer. God does not feel good if we suffer. We are His children. He loves and He cares for us so much. So even when you feel that you are weak, you can do all those things. You can endure those challenges through God who give you the strength. So that's in let us not allow the storm in our life to make us weak and to turn away from God. Later, let a storm in our life make us stronger and closer to the Lord, because God knows what He's doing in your life. Let the storms in our life to keep us closer to the Lord. Let us all stand and trust God and have our hope in Him that God is going to take us to the next level and He knows what He's doing in our life. So wherever you are, God placed you there with a purpose, with a reason known to Him, and He is always there with you. Even if you see there's a huge mountain ahead of you, just know that God is huge than the mountain in your life. God is bigger than the storm, the challenges, the battles that you are struggling in your life. God is always bigger, and that's let us always trust Him. Is working something for in our life. It's not He has not placed wherever we are for no good for this unknown to Him. He is doing great things in our life. He's planning something huge in our life. So let us say that God is always by our side. He's not going to abandon us. He's not going to leave us. He's not going to forsake us. He will always be on our side. No matter what happens, just trust the process of the Lord and always learn to read the Bible. The Bible will encourage us. The Bible will always be on our side to encourage, to always motivate, inspire, and do great things in our life. That's what we need, that God is always on our side no matter what happens. So that's what we see, that God goes with you, He goes with us, and is taking us to the next level. So I can do all things through Jesus who strengthen me. You can do all things through God who is our strength. I know that with God, nothing is impossible. So whatever that you think that things are going not to be all right, just trust the God that God is by your side, is your protector, is your guide, is everything that you need. God is by your side. Look upon the Lord, trust Him. He will lead you, He will direct you. Do not be afraid whatever which is happening around you. Just look upon the Lord. He is going to take you to your next level. It's going to take you where you belong. So He has put you there to learn, to understand, and you mature for something, and you are see preparing your blessings. So your blessings are on the way. Your obstacle is not a permanent thing. It's just temporary. It was part of your destiny. It was part of your story. So you need to fulfill it as things are going to get better in your life. So never lose hope. Do not be discouraged. Look upon God. Things are going to be perfect. Things are going to be all right. Nothing is permanent in your life. So trust God. Have process in everything that we see. That God is always on our side and things are always going to be well. God has called you to the places where you are to bring redemptive life to the people you encounter. So God has placed you wherever you are. So you will be a motivator. When tomorrow you will find people in your such a situation you have passed, you will motivate them. You will encourage them so that they will endure, they will persevere, and at the end of it, they will conquer. So it doesn't matter what you are facing. God has placed you wherever you are for a purpose. You were created by a purpose. You were created by a reason. God knew us before we were born. He prepared everything. Our soul was written before we were born. So God knows why He created us to fulfill something. And so wherever you're in the situation, no matter the situation you find yourself, it was part of your story, and so it will be there for a short period of time and it will go. Nothing stays forever. That's what we learned, that nothing stays forever in this life. Things go to change. So let us trust God. Let us have strong faith in Him. No matter what happens, look upon the Lord, and He is always on our side. May God bless us. May God always be on our side. Just know that where you are is by God's reason. He knows where He has put you there. And you will endure, even if it is storm. When you've come weak, look upon God to find your strength, and you will keep going until you conquer the situation. Thank you so much. God bless you.